Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Jay. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Derrick Jaxin situation. Him being caught on camera and him coming up with his confession about being a serial cheater. He was a relationship guru. For those that don't know who Derrick Jaxin was, he was a relationship type guru that would come on here and he would give advice. He would give advice to um, for men to straighten up, get their act together, and he would give advice to women. But oftentimes, his advice would be just downgrading men. He would talk a lot about men. He would talk about our faults. He would often side with the women. He came across like he was a simp, like he was just doing this, doing this to pander to women to try to get pussy from women, try and get sex from women. And he often and he did the videos in his car. Now, when it came out that he was later, when it later came out that he was exposed and he admitted to cheating, yes, people figured out why he did the videos in his car oftentimes. Because he probably was coming back from cheating or he was on his way to go cheat. But go back to my video that I made about Jordan Peterson where I said the exact same thing. Jordan Peterson, another so-called guru online here, was a guy who would always tell young men to clean up their room, get their act together. He even released a couple of books. Then it comes out years later, after his rise to fame, that he too was a fraud, that he too was addicted to drugs. He too didn't have his life together. So my advice to you people out there is don't listen to these guru types. Don't listen to these high and mighty, holier than thou types. Because a lot of times they don't have it together any more than you do. Especially when it comes to relationships. Did he ever have anything positive or edifying to say about brothers? Or was he always just putting us down, telling us what we were doing wrong in the relationship and trying to make it seem like the woman is perfect and the man is always at fault? Meanwhile, exactly like Lisa said, always negative. Meanwhile, he himself was the embodiment of every negative trait he said we were as men. So you should know, because you're doing that thing to your wife that you're telling us not to do. So you're speaking from experience. So it's like Jordan Peterson. It's just like with the Jordan Peterson situation. And many people dislike that Jordan Peterson video that I did, but it was true. Jordan Peterson was sitting there telling everybody that what their life was doing wrong. This guy, Derrick Jaxin, came out around the same time doing that. And he, like Lisa said, in the video, he was sitting there with his wife promoting his book. Listen, guys like this, they go on tour for these books, these self-help books, and they're like rock stars. They're like the rappers. You know what I'm saying? Women throw themselves at them. They're famous YouTube celebrities. And that's another thing Lisa brought out. We never seen this woman in any of his videos. I'll be straight with you. When I came across Derrick Jaxin, when I first came across him, when he first came out, I thought dude was gay. I thought he was gay. And I'm like, all right, Here's another gay dude that's not even in the game, not even after going after women, trying to tell me as a man what I should be doing with in my relationships with women. You never saw this dude with his wife. He never even mentioned he had a wife. Go look in any of his archives now and see if he mentions that he had any kind of wife or girlfriend or anything. Because he knew that if he did that, people would call him out like, why ain't you doing with your wife what you telling us to do for our women? You a hypocrite. And then he's like some of these dudes out here that they want you to put money towards their GoFundMe or towards their Patreon, right? Because they're coming out with a book or they're coming out with a documentary. And meanwhile, the documentary never comes out. The book never comes out. It's all a hustle. Like I was telling Lisa, YouTubing is the new rap. YouTubing is the new gangster rap. They want to sell you a persona. They want to sell you an image of who they are. Exactly. And then Lisa said he made a video talking to his wife in the third person. Man, fuck that dude, man. He went against his own gender. He threw his own gender under the bus and his own race because he only went after brothers. He never talked about the imperfections and what white men should be doing in their relationships. So you went after your own race and your own gender, and you saw fit to throw them under the bus for money. Another opportunist, another Jordan Peterson, another Candace Owens. And there are countless other of men like this and women like this on the internet. He's not the only one, he's not the first one, and he won't be the last one. When the internet first came out and YouTube first came out, I remember in the late 2000s, early 2010s, it used to be taboo to beg people for money. It used to be taboo to ask your watchers and your subscribers to give you money for pet projects. Now it's the norm with Patreon. Now it's the normal thing to do. It's perfectly acceptable. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. But don't sell your subscribers or your followers a false image. They do this to attract lonely people, people that are single, and people want easy answers. Remember when you were young? Well, when I would be young and I would stay up late or sometimes wake up early and I would watch these infomercials on TV. And on these infomercials, they would say, oh, you buy this machine and you'll lose weight or you'll have perfectly sculpted abs, in 2 weeks. Or you'll become instantly rich by doing this, that, and the third. And it was the guy with the suit with all the question marks on him. I forget his name. But gullible people that were heavy set, gullible people that were out of shape, and gullible people that were poor would listen to these infomercials. And they would give their last bit of dollar to these hustlers because they wanted something to believe in. Well, that's like how this YouTube shit is. These lonely people, they hang on to his every word. They believed in him. And he took advantage of them morally, spiritually, and financially. Just like those infomercial infomercial hucksters back in the day. The guy with the question mark jacket and all the ab flex and all that. I know about that because I grew up fat. you know, and you would do anything to want to not be fat. You would do anything to want to be accepted. So that was like this. Derrick Jaxin was trying to Derrick Jaxin was trying to sucker these women in, these lonely women, these women without men. They were trying to figure out a magic formula through Derrick Jaxin's guruship that would make their relationship work. But just like with losing weight, or just like with becoming wealthy, there is no easy answer, and you're going to fail. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication. You're never going to get there just like that. But people want to believe that there is an easy answer. People want to believe that there is a guru out there on YouTube that has all the answers. A Jordan Peterson or a Derrick Jaxin. Or to take it to a larger societal issue, situation, and Omar Johnson. So like buddy like Omar Johnson is always talking about racial uplift and believe that he has the answer to fix the ills of the black community with a quick step just like this. Or these preachers that they tell you that they have the way to heaven, or they have famous special holy water like Peter Popoff, right? This is the kind of person that Derrick Jaxin was. This is the kind of hustler that he was. But instead of hustling fat women or lonely men or broke people or Christians, he was hustling lonely women looking for relationship advice. Because one of the things that women would think, here, he's a handsome guy, he's well put together, he has a good job, he drives a nice car, he has all the answers. But they didn't stop and question, and they didn't stop and think, well, how come we never seen him with his girl? How come we never seen pictures of him with his family if he's such a good family man? But they were quick to believe in the illusion and believe in the fantasy of Derrick Jaxin. But now his facade is coming undone. And he's making stupid things like talking about himself in the third person. Sorry, it's not going to work. We know that who the Wizard of Oz is. The curtain has been pulled back. Just like in the Wizard of Oz, when everybody was scared of the wizard, right? But then they pulled back the curtain and it was just a man. It was just a man there. And he didn't have no special powers. It was just a man like any other man. He's been exposed for what he is, a fraud. But this is a warning for you ladies out there. And for you fellas too, because I'm sure there's a few female Derrick Jacksons going to pop up there. Some pretty girl, whatever, with a nice body that's going to think that she going to tell you all the answers to how women think and try to sucker y'all in too. Men are easily susceptible to this as well. A real teacher and a real leader will give you the keys you need to be successful and will not have you to depend on their every word and morsel of advice. Teach a man to fish. Give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So he's having you come back for each examination of each advice. Then he's probably a fraud trying to take your money. And you can't turn to an outside source to try to fix your relationship either. So this is a word of advice for you ladies. You know, my viewership is mostly men, but there are probably some ladies out there that will view this. But for the men too, don't take anybody's word or advice. Do for self and figure out and use your common sense to try to work out the quirks in your relationship. Um, and don't fall for these snake oil salesmen, these paid actors like Derrick Smith. I mean, Derrick Jaxin, rather. Peace. Love you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell button below. See when my next video is coming out.